So we're going to look at site backups now, and the plugin I'm going to use is called UpdraftPlus, and it's just the plugin you install on your WordPress website, and you can set it to back up your site in certain increments, and we'll go through that later. But also just to be aware that your host may have their own backups that they make anyway. So installing your own backup application or arranging your own backups is maybe not absolutely necessary, but you know, maybe you like to have control over when you make the backups exactly, and also exactly where you store those backups. So we're just quickly going to look at Thames Cloud Services, which is our hosting company here, and I'll just quickly show you in the account. So you go into your account, you log into cPanel, and you will see there that there is a backup service already on Thames Cloud Services. When you buy a hosting package, you have, you scroll down to files, you've got Jet Backup over there. When you click on it, it starts up. And you can see, so this is a relatively new site over here, and you see you've already got 3 total backups. Now you can click, for instance, on full backups, and you can see there that the backup's been taken on the same day, one at 3 a.m., 8 a.m., and then on the next day, 7:50 a.m., and so on. And then, of course, when you want to restore the backup, say something went wrong on your site or something broke or whatever, then you can just click one of these instances and you can click restore, and there you go, your backup is done. So all of this that I've just shown you takes place automatically. You don't have to do a thing, and it's there just for peace of mind. Right, so let's go back into our WordPress dashboard, and let's say we want to install our own type of backup, or maybe your host doesn't provide backup facilities. Let's have a look at installing those plugins, or the plugin. So I'm going to go to plugins, I'm going to say add new, and as I said, the plugin is UpdraftPlus, UpdraftPlus. Okay, so this is the one. So that there are a few, so Updraft Central, Updraft Plus, and so on. What you are looking for is Updraft Plus. So let's just do our sort of basic 4-point check again with any plugin that we install. So number 1, check the ratings. That's all good. 3+ million active users. That's also good. Many people have it installed at this moment in time. We also look at the last updated date 1 week ago. That's okay. You know, you just need to make sure that the plugins that you use are actually maintained and patched for bugs and security and so on. So a week ago, that's absolutely fine, and it is also compatible with our version of WordPress. So I'm happy to go ahead and install this. So what I do now is I go install now, and it's installing, and it should show me to activate the plugin soon. I may want to pause the video if no, it's quick enough. So then I go and click activate, and it now takes me to the plugin. So press here to start. So I'm not going to do that. You can do that if you want. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make sure that, yep, I've got Updraft Plus backup and restore. So what we need to do is we need to go set it up now. So let's have a look at settings. So where you find it. So some plugins, like the cookie consent one, is on the menu, directly on the menu. But things like Updraft Plus, you know, some plugins you have to go look in maybe settings or tools or something. So in this case, we go to settings, and we see it's right there at the bottom. So I can just click on the settings menu as well, and I can go to Updraft Plus backups. Why is it so difficult for me to say this today? Okay, so welcome to Updraft Plus, blah, 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 warnings and all sorts of things. I'm just going to clear some of that up. And Yeah, so we are good to go. Now, what I do recommend is when you, the first thing you need to do really is to choose where you are going to save your backups. Now, it is not a good idea to save it directly on the web server, i.e. the hosting server where your website lives, because, you know, even though nothing's gone wrong so far or ever, yet, but on our web servers, but you know, you say your code, your WordPress site somehow got compromised or whatever, you know, anything can happen. You want to keep your backups. It's just good practice to keep your backups, and even your own backups at home. When you take backups at home, you may have just you know, a hard drive or connected to your laptop or your PC, and you may just back up your laptop or PC to the hard drive connected to that device. Now, that is still in the same location, so, you know, God forbid if there's a fire or anything, you know, your backup's gone as well. So what I recommend is you send your backup to a cloud service such as Microsoft OneDrive or Google Drive or Dropbox or one of those services. Now, what I'm going to do is, because I've already got a Gmail account that I created for specifically for this website, because, you know, I'm going to install analytics, Google Analytics and so on. I'm going to use the Google services. So by default, I already have Google Drive, which is, I think it comes with 15 gigabytes, which is more than enough. I don't remember if you saw when we looked at the Jet backup of our site, the total backup file sizes were something like 85 megabytes. Okay, the site is still very small, but still, you know, these websites don't take a lot of space unless you've got loads and loads and loads of huge images on them or videos or whatever. So, okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we want to look at going to connect our backup to Google Drive. That's the first thing we want to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to settings. So we are in the WordPress settings, but within UpdraftPlus backups, I want to go to the settings over there. So first of all, we're basically going to look at three things on this screen here. We're going to look at the files backup schedule, the database backup schedule, and we're going to select our facility where we want to store our backup. Now, files backup schedule, what I would like is I like this to happen daily. Now, you can have it happen, you know, your backup taken every 2 hours, every 4 hours, every 8, every 12. You know, daily for this blog, daily is more than enough. And I want to retain 2 copies. So I want to retain, so it's going to make its first backup, then it's going to make the next day it's going to make another backup, and then what it's going to do, it's going to keep rolling over so that it always have 2 days worth of backup. So it's going to have the day before's backup and then the day before that. So for me, that's enough. And so this is your files backup, your site files backup, and then the database backup. Now, I like to keep these two on the same schedule, just, you know, to keep them in step and in line. But again, you can choose whatever you like there. So I did say that, you know, you can back up to all sorts of cloud facilities or whatever, you know, even to your local PC or laptop if you want to, but not recommended. What I recommend is you use one of these. So something like, so you can have an Updraft Vault plus Vault as well, but I just tend to use something that I, you know, have sort of that I already have. I don't know if you have to sign up for this or whatever. So you can see here you've got Dropbox, you've got Google Drive, you've got Microsoft OneDrive, and so on. Now, I'm going to select, so I've selected my schedules. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect Google Drive now. So then I'm going to go ahead and click on Google Drive. So it opens up the Google Drive settings down here. I keep everything as the default. So I want it to back up my plugins, my themes, my uploads, and everything like that. Okay. So what we have to do now is to connect our backup UpdraftPlus to our Google account. We have to sign in with Google. So that's what we're going to do now. So it's asking me to save changes. Have I made changes? Let's just let's just save whatever changes we've made. Bad me. I don't think it matters anyway. But, okay. All right. So yeah, we still have our schedules and stuff. All right. Let's sign in with Google. So I need to put in my, so it's doggoinfo8@gmail.com. So that's the Gmail address or Gmail account that I've created specifically for this website, for this blog. So I say next. So enter password, which I'll just paste in there. So it's now going to go away and it's going to connect UpdraftPlus with my Google account. You have to allow all of this and go through a few cycles of this. So it's going to give you this big sort of orange screen. It's going to take you to where it's going to take you, but I'm just going to say complete setup, and that's it. So if I go back to my settings now, you'll see that it's these items here are in green, but you'll also see now if I go back to settings, you can see that Google Drive is selected now, and you can see here that there should be a Google Drive folder in my Gmail or in my Google account called Google Drive called UpdraftPlus, and that's where my backups will be stored. Okay. So what I can do now is I'm just going to go and say, all right, backup now. So it's going to say, take a new backup. Yep. Only allow this backup to be deleted manually. No, I'm just going to sort of leave it like that. Leave all the defaults. Backup. And it is running a backup. You can see over here, it's requesting the start of backup. So what I like to do always when I install this for the first time on a site, I like to just perform a manual backup just to see that everything connects okay and everything is good. So what I'm going to do now is, it says here that my backup's completed. Okay, and I can go ahead, and if anything goes wrong with my site now, I can just go and hit restore, and I can restore my site. And what it's gonna do, when you restore, it's going to connect to Google Drive. It's going to go and grab those files, download it to the web server, and then restore your site the way it was. Nice and easy. And you can see all the connections and everything just happened. So with that backup, I've just opened up my drive, and you can see here Google Drive. This is the one that I've set up. This is the one where I've just backed up to. And you can see, so these are just sort of recent files, but you can see here there's in my drive there's a UpdraftPlus folder. If I click on that, open that up, then you can see these backups. So you can see here that you get the 15 gigabytes free storage with your Google account, your Gmail account, and at the moment we're not even touching the it's just a drop in the ocean there in terms of space that we're taking up. So that is connecting fine, and once you've just verified that your connections are fine, that is really all there is to it. So this is basically the default settings, other than the couple of settings that I've just done in the connection to my Google Drive account. And like I said, restoring it is you'll find that you'll end up here with, if like me you had your schedule set to back up every daily and keep 2 instances of your backup, you'll end up having 2 instances here of your backup. So today or yesterday and the day before. So you can then simply go and restore everything if you want. You can also, when you hit restore, as you can see here, I'm not going to go through the whole process. I don't particularly want to restore my site again, but you can see here that you can actually choose to restore your plugins only. So for instance, sometimes when there are plugin updates and you update your plugins on your live site, your site may break because of an update in a plugin that it didn't like. And in cases like that, if you've done your plugin updates on your live site, then you can come back here. You can select just plugins and go next, and you can just restore your plugins to the state that they were before, and your site should run okay again then. And the whole process takes just a few minutes. But what I always recommend is, whenever you update stuff on your site, just do it in a staging area. So set up a WordPress staging area, which is like a test area or a sandbox, where you can go in and go through some updates, WordPress update, plugin updates, any changes you want to make to your website, test it out a little bit, see if it runs okay, and then go and do it on your live site. Or from the staging area, you can promote it to your live site. I've got a video about setting up how to set up a staging area as well. So yeah, that is it. That is UpdraftPlus and backing up your site.